Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about this idea that I have discussed before, which is that effective communication, impactful communication can only happen when you are in the present moment. So there's nuance to this, right? Because if you don't think at all about what you're going to say next, then how do you be intentional and thoughtful in your communication? You can't. So there's a balance here, right? It doesn't mean that you're entirely in the present moment. Otherwise, you most likely wouldn't progress in the communication, the conversation, the presentation at all. So there's a balance. But our tendency as a culture, for sure, and individuals, human beings, is to spend no time in the present moment when we are communicating. We are entirely lost in our thoughts about what just happened in the past or what we need to say next, what our answer is going to be to what the argument the person is making. We spend most of our time when we're supposed to be listening to the other person, deeply listening and understanding. We spend most of that time thinking about how we're going to respond. And so this is my antidote to that. This is my argument against that, to say it really is important that we stay in the present moment in our communication to the best of our ability, as much as we possibly can, in order to effectively move ourselves forward towards our goal. And this applies to whether you're listening, you need to be staying in the present moment, or if you're speaking, you need to predominantly be in the present moment so that you can hear yourself, react to the stimuli around you, and pivot. And most of our communication, particularly public speaking, keynote speaking, speeches, etc., is about pivoting. It's about reacting to an insight in the moment, or reacting to your audience's reaction to you speaking. If you don't do that, then it feels very staged. It feels very rehearsed. People feel like they're being talked at as opposed to communicated with. And so leaning into that, being in the present moment as you're communicating, finding a way to flex that muscle on a daily basis can really serve you in becoming a higher level speaker. So that's one reason why I teach people to be in the present moment, is because only in the present moment can they read what's going on and react, and therefore have a higher level of influence or impact, whatever it is that they might be looking for. But there's another reason to bring yourself into the present moment, and that's because when we're in the present moment, okay, so sorry, I just went into the present moment a little bit too deeply. I guess what I'm trying to say is that when we go into the present moment, we get out of our own way. So one way to bring yourself into the present moment is to focus on your breath and your breathing. So inhaling through your nose and mouth to the count of 4 and exhaling to the count of 4. You can do any equation you want. Just pick an equation and begin to breathe deeply and deeper, and begin to elongate the inhale and elongate the exhale. And when you focus on your breathing, you take that monkey mind and you give it something healthy and productive to focus on. And all of a sudden, you're getting out of your own way, because you're no longer listening to all the negative voices, all of the distractions. You are in the present moment because you're focusing on your breath. And so by learning and practicing being in the present moment, by focusing on your breath, you are in essence learning a way to get out of your head, into your body, and into the present moment. And so I noticed with a client that I spoke about in my post recently, I taught her how to focus on her breathing, how to elongate her breath. And all of a sudden, her energy changed, her presence shifted. She became much more still in her body. There was less distraction going on in her gestures and her facial expressions. She became very zen. She became very focused. She was able to make more eye contact with me. And I said, "What changed?" And she said, "Well, I no longer listened to the voices in my head. I just focused on my breathing." And that seemed to bring everything into alignment. And so there's real power in this, in learning a technique that works for you to make you present with what is, present with what is going on. And so, just to end our session today, I'd love to just teach you a very simple breathing practice, a breath that you can focus on doing so that you can bring yourself into the present moment when you need to and stay in the present moment. And so, all we're going to do is we're going to elongate our inhale and exhale. So, I'm going to have you inhale through your nose and mouth at the same time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Do it with me again. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Do it on your own. Notice how good it feels. And notice that you can do it while I'm just talking at you, with you, to you. And this is what you can practice every day. When other people are talking to you, you can be listening and breathing and practicing being in the present moment, which helps you to feel more connected, which helps you to be a deep listener, to actually be listening and understanding, and allows you to communicate in a way that is really effective for both you and the person you're speaking to. Good work practicing today. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.